The NFL couldn't have crafted a better narrative to open the season. Week 1 delivers a marquee matchup that feels more like a playoff teaser than an opener. Aaron Rodgers, after a whirlwind year, returns to the spotlight, not just to prove he's still got it, but to face the Pittsburgh Steelers in a game that already feels drenched in storyline. The schedule makers clearly anticipated this moment. Rodgers under center in black and gold? That's not just coincidence, it's a calculated opening act for the NFL's drama-filled season. Across from him stands Will McDonald IV, a rising star in the Jets' defense and already a candidate for their best pass rusher. McDonald, speaking about the chance to finally face Rodgers, gave us an honest, almost self-deprecating glimpse into his journey. I always wanted to sack Rodgers. Well, maybe not always. I wasn't really into football as a kid, honestly, but I watched him a lot. Now that I'm in the league and no longer on the same team as him, it's go time. He knows what I can do. I know he's a vet and has plenty of tricks up his sleeve. It's going to be competitive. You can tell McDonald is ready to make a statement. This Jets-Steelers clash is arguably the crown jewel of the early Sunday slate. It might even carry the entire day until the Lions and Packers take the field at Lambeau. Other games might offer surprises. Panthers versus Jaguars comes to mind as a potential under-the-radar thriller. But make no mistake, Jets versus Steelers is must-watch TV. It's got legacy, new beginnings, tension, and firepower. Not long ago, someone threw out a projected win total for both teams combined. 18. At first, it sounded plausible. But when Vegas odds entered the picture, reality set in. The Jets are currently projected at 5.5 wins, while the Steelers sit at 8.5. That's a combined 14, which feels a little light, especially when you consider the pieces both teams are working with. The Jets might have their flaws, but 5.5 wins? That's a bit harsh. They've built up their roster over the last 2 years with legitimate talent. Their defense is fierce, and the offense, while still searching for rhythm, isn't without weapons. Everything, of course, hinges on Justin Fields, his health, development, and ability to mesh in a brand new system. First-year head coach Aaron Glenn has his hands full, but there's enough raw talent here to outperform that low Vegas line. The Steelers' number is just as interesting. An 8.5 win projection quietly implies that some people believe Mike Tomlin could finally have his first losing season as a head coach. Let's be clear, that's hard to imagine. Tomlin is practically allergic to sub-500 records. He doesn't need an elite roster to grind out 9 wins. He's done more with less, and this year's roster looks stronger than many of his recent squads. Take a quick peek at their schedule, and finding 9 wins isn't a stretch. They could realistically open the season 3-0. A home game against the Browns adds a 4th. Hosting Indianapolis could be win number 5. A road trip to the Chargers is tough, but certainly winnable. That's 6. Add in a likely split with the Ravens, and you're already at 7. One of their 2 games against Cincinnati could go their way, and a cold December home game against Miami could be favorable. Suddenly 9 wins feels not just possible, but probable. Now, shifting back to Rodgers. There's one game you know he's got emotionally circled on the calendar, Week 2 at Chicago. It's the place he once declared, "I own you," in front of a stunned Soldier Field crowd. Now he returns, not as a Packer, but as a visitor again, this time with the Jets. The crowd will remember. So will he. You can bet that game means something to Rodgers. He'll soak in the attention, thrive on the noise, and show up to prove a point. Interestingly enough, the Jets may be experiencing something rare this year. A little bit of luck. Justin Fields, for once, hasn't suffered a catastrophic preseason injury. There's no tarp over the offense. The season hasn't been torpedoed before it starts. That, for this franchise, is a refreshing twist. For once, the football gods might be offering the Jets a break. So, where do we land? A realistic combined win total might be closer to 15.5 or 16. Maybe the Jets end up with 7 wins and the Steelers with 9. That seems like a reasonable floor. There's room for upside, too. Both teams have question marks, but neither is a rebuild case. The Steelers are led by stability and culture. The Jets are trying to flip the script on a generation of dysfunction. This isn't just another football season. It's a story of redemption, of old rivalries reigniting, of rising stars like Will McDonald going head-to-head with legends like Rodgers. It's a season about what comes next, for Fields, for Tomlin, for Rodgers, for two teams on very different but equally compelling paths.